Hi there, thanks for staying with us here on Prime Morning. It's time for us to get into News Flash. It's proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise, still phones, Papa Pafi. It's the best place you can go and get your gadgets. If you're looking to buy new phones, iPhone, Samsung, Nokia, you can go to Franco Trading Enterprise and get yours from there. CCTV cameras to monitor your homes, any offices, anytime you are not around. And also you can get your television sets from us. We've got the best when it comes to television, and you can actually get any size that you want. The biggest size that you can actually get, we've done for you as well. So make sure you go there and grab yours from there. Microwave, any home appliance that you need, Franco Trading Enterprise is the place you have to go. And it's very easy for you to find us. Locate us in our branches over here in Accra and across the country. And you can also download the app. It's the Franco Trading app on Google Play Store. Our website is www.francotrading.com, and that's how you can also have Franco Trading in your hands. It's pretty simple, and that's all you need to do. Give us a call on the numbers you see on your screens and talk to us. So please do well and do business with us, and trust me, you'll not regret it. Franco Trading Enterprise says still phones, Papa Pafi. News Flash is brought to you by the kindest courtesy of Franco Trading Enterprise. Now we'll move on, and this morning we'll be looking at some of the reports that have come up on our portal, and then we'll get into our substantive issue. Now, the Gold Board Task Force has been officially inaugurated by His Excellency, the President of the Republic, John Dramani Mahama, and he's actually charged them to do their very best to ensure that their goals are achieved, but also helping them in a way, because the President believes any whistleblower out there who is able to bring these people to book will definitely have a 10% of what has been seized. How is that they're able to give us what exactly we need in terms of results? We'll be looking at that here on the show this morning. You can send your messages to us. Let us know about it. Do you believe that the task force that has been inaugurated will be able to achieve the desired results that we all want? Don't forget that over the last few months, Gold Board has contributed immensely towards the exchange rates, and the president has also stated that indeed we've seen all this significant change, all because Gold Board has been doing something quite significant. We're going to be looking at that conversation as well here on the show. So please do well. Send your messages to us. My guest will be here in the studio as always, and we'll take a look at all of the issues that we're looking at today. Our WhatsApp line is active. You can send your messages to us. We're streaming live on Facebook. You can also go there and share your thought with us. I'll be reading some of your messages a bit later here on the show. But of course, the segment is proudly brought to you by Franco Trading Enterprise, still phones, Papa Pafi. I'm going to the portal, but Richard Suma is here with me in the studio this morning. He's a leading member of the Movement for Change, and he's also a family to this family. Rich,
yeah,
how's it going? It's a rainy Monday.
Yeah. Right? It's a beautiful weather. It's raining.
You love it?
Yeah, it's good.
The winter?
Yeah, Ghana's winter. A lot of babies are going to be produced.
Oh, boy. Okay, so myself and the CEO of BH Petagro and some of the team members over there paid a visit again to Rinsawan prison, and on our way coming, we're all discussing the weather condition we're all experiencing right now. And there were about 5 guys in the car. So everyone, it was actually attributing their babies to the time that they were born because of the weather. And some said, oh, I had mine in April. I had mine in October. And then we said, oh, as for the April people, like June, July people, because of the weather. The October and all those people, what would they use there? What would be the excuse for giving birth to their kids?
But apparently I'm hearing this is going to take us to like about August ending.
Which is good.
Which is good. The weather is too hot in this part of the world. It's just too hot. Sometimes you get up from the house in the daytime and you just don't know where to go. You don't know, because we don't have a system where we plant, or we have a lot of gardens, or we have a lot of rest stops where full of trees. You have sitting places that you can just go.
Cut all of them.
You know, but here we've cut all the trees for other purposes. So, like, the weather is good. God has blessed us with an African weather, which is an African winter to say, and we like it. We continue to December.
Exactly, but we should also pray that it doesn't become too heavy. When we get to lose lives and all of that. You know what happens when we have heavy rains in this country.
This morning, for instance, it's raining heavily. Normally, we're expecting a bit of drizzling. Drizzling, cool weather. But then we look to God and see what the outcome is going to be like.
Yes, and our prayers goes out to the people of Texas in the U.S. as well.
Yes.
The flooding over the last few weeks have been very, very terrible. And if you have a family in Texas, you want to be checking on that person and be praying for the person as well. It's not been easy in Texas as well.
True.
Yeah, great stuff. All right, so let's get to the screens and see what reports we're getting from our portal. We'll go on myjoyonline.com and over here on myjoyonline.com, on the main page, you've got over here $100 million deal is business, not politics, engineer and planners. And that's also another issue that have come up right now that has not been easy at all for Awal Mohammed. And you know the whole Azuma and you know the $100 million deal that has been signed. I'll be checking some of the stories, but also over here, police exhumed multiple human remains in Central Tongu Shrine and suspended CJ sues Ghana at ECOWAS court over alleged human rights abuse. And the Deputy Attorney General has issued a statement to that regard. And former British PM Rishi Sunak takes job at Goldman Sachs, and that's also something that has been reported. You know, this man had a very serious backlash, even though he had people supporting him when he took over that job. But unfortunately, he couldn't continue with it. He had to resign. Ramaphosa opposes Trump's 30% tariff on South Africa, and Sean Diddy comes to be sentenced on October 3rd. Oh, boy. And he couldn't get a bill. Now, he actually, after that ruling, he got back to the prisons with standing ovation. Yes, you know, the inmates were very excited to see him back again and congratulated him because most of the charges that could have put him in behind bars for a long time were actually dropped. Now, you used our data. Now you want a rerun. NPP's Chair Justin could have blast EC over U10, and it's interesting to know that the NPP is coming against the EC right now. First malaria treatment for babies approved for use. And Ablekuma North, we knew our candidate had won before going to EC, Justin from Ponkodia. And ENP's $250 million US dollars funding promise was just talk, says Azuma Resources. I don't know. But Rich, these are reports from Joe Online. I don't know which one you want to take. Let's see which one you can tackle, you want to speak on quickly.
Yes, of course. We would like to say a little bit about the suspended Chief Justice who has sued Ghana at the ECOWAS court. First of all, I don't know what is the rationale behind that. And besides that, you are being taken through a process in Ghana, and you have raised issues about your rights being curtailed. And it has come to the public domain over and over and over again, and we've been using all the mediums through which you can get a remedy. But it looks more like all the issues you are bringing to the fore is a normal procedure that every other Ghanaian goes through anytime he gets an issue before the court. So it is not like your case is being treated exceptionally, where your rights have completely been curtailed. So what she's trying to do is just trying to fight a losing battle. There are some battles, if you fight, is an exercise in futility. ECOWAS cannot determine to us how we run our system here in Ghana. And ECOWAS has plethora of issues that they've not been able to address. What is going on in Togo, has ECOWAS been able to do something about it? So this woman should give us a break. She should keep quiet, follow the procedures. Nobody is against you. You have your legitimate right. But don't try and take us to a court of ECOWAS to ridicule us more, to make it look like Ghana has become a banana republic where we are abusing the rights of individuals just anyhow that we want.
Did you see coming after the press conference? A lot of people thought that was going to be the last stop, you know.
Yeah, because she has done virtually everything. So she has done virtually everything. And the issue to it that the office of the Chief Justice is not a bona fide property of anybody. You understand? You are also just a civil servant or a Ghanaian like any other person. Those who have been vetted recently and approved to get to the Supreme Court, many of them are equally qualified to become Chief Justices. Many who are already sitting there at the Supreme Court are already qualified to be Chief Justices. So if you have been given the opportunity to serve as the Chief Justice, and based on a laid-down procedure, because we anticipate that once you are a human being, anything can happen in your tenure of office. And once people have been able to trigger the process, and the process is being followed, which has not breached any constitutional law, why are you trying to make a mockery of the entire process?
And these were the words of Justice Shremsai, and it says that I can confirm that the Chief Justice, Her Ladyship Justice Gertrude Tokonu, has filed another court case, at this time at the ECOWAS Community Court in Abuja, Nigeria, against the Republic. Now, in the case which was filed on July 4, Her Ladyship repeated the same allegations of human rights violations, which are currently pending determination before our Supreme Court and also before our High Court in respect of the ongoing removal processes. Now, essentially, Her Ladyship argues that by her suspension, she has effectively been removed from her official capacity without a final determination, impairing her right to function and serve in a position she was constitutionally appointed to. And these were the same things that she cited when...
What you are saying that you have been effectively removed from your position because you are on suspension. Once you're on suspension, you have lost the power to exercise any authority. Are you getting the point? So it's not a final saying that you have been sacked. You have been suspended. We have all been suspended before. Once you've been suspended, you are not entitled to the power that you once willed and you use it for any services or you use it for any decisions you want to take. So it's a non-starter. She has no issue. All right.
We're going to go to the Ablekuma North elections, and it's supposed to happen on 11th of July. But as to whether it's going to be the case, the NPP is still not, in agreement to that decision, and they still insist that something has to be done about it. Now, for me, it's Rich. I'm not too sure how you feel about the position of the NPP right now. The EC, a lot of people believe, was actually doing the bidding of the NPP. And now the EC says that, okay, well, if you guys feel that, there were certain things that were not properly done during the elections, let's go for everyone. The NPP says no.
You see, NPP is obviously trying to make a mockery of themselves. Because, you see, you cannot approbate and reprobate, just as most of the lawyers, they say. You are the same people who you have always stood firmly behind the Electoral Commission and believe that every decision taken by the Electoral Commission is in the best interest of the country. Therefore, when people were even agitating that the Electoral Commission chairperson should be removed, you people stood solidly behind her. Now, you don't go into an election where the Electoral Commission itself don't have a collated pink sheet of some of the polling stations that they are talking about. And they cannot depend largely on what one side of the political divide provides to use it as a final determination of who wins or who lost. Okay, so if in EC, initially they were trying to depend on what NPP provided them. And upon further consideration, because Electoral Commission is a human institution, and every human institution is subject to rethinking and introspection. So if EC had done a bit of introspection and come to realization that the agitation being made by NDC to suggest that we need to have a rerun in some of these electoral areas or polling station areas, that there is a contention as to the result outcome, it is in the right direction. So I don't see why, if it is not for us, then we are totally against it. But if it is for us, then we are totally in full support of it. It's hypocrisy, and we cannot build any country like this.
I don't know how many people saw this coming. There will be a time that
So, for instance, if today there is an agitation that the Electoral Commissioner should be removed, would the NPP today support her?
That's the big question.
Would they support it?
I'm sure maybe they
because of Ablekuma North, Ablekuma South, right?
North.
Ablekuma North. Because of Ablekuma North, all of a sudden the ties have turned, and NPP is vehemently opposing the decision of the Electoral Commission to run this election, to bring it to finality, so the people of Ablekuma North can have a full representation in Parliament. They should give us a break. This country does not belong to only NPP. It belongs to everybody.
Interesting. Now let's get into some of the other. This one was actually the talk of the weekend of the week, if you want to put it that way. But that's the 100 million deal that Ibrahim Mohammed signed. Now, Engineers and Planners EP & Co. Limited has fiercely defended its 100 million acquisition of the Azuma Gold concession in the Upper West region, declaring it a landmark commercial deal and rejecting any attempt to politicize the transaction. The company issued a detailed statement stressing that purchase was initiated long before the 2024 elections and should be seen as a game changer for Ghana's mining sector, one that finally places a major gold mine in fully Ghanaian hands. Originally leased moved to Azuma Resources Ghana Limited in 1992, a company controlled by Australian interests. The concession had seen little development for over 3 decades. Now, EP revealed that Azuma had amassed over $5 million in debts to the Ghana Revenue Authority and the Minerals Commission, facing mounting financial pressure there and citing security concerns in the Upper West region. Azuma's shareholders approached EP in May 2023 with an offer to sell the asset for $100 million, even though independent assessment had pegged its value below $80 million. EP accepted, ENP accepted the terms and signed a project acquisition development agreement October 9th, 2023, and from November 2023 to June 2025, the company says it has poured an average of $500,000 a monthly into funding and operating the site. And all of a sudden, there are issues with it. I don't know if it's a typical case of your brother is the president and.
No, but you see, we cannot afford to grow a country like that. We cannot be vindictive and try to politicize everything that happens in this country. Obviously, Ibrahim Mahama has been in business before his brother became the president.
Yeah.
He is still in business, and look at all the good philanthropic work that he has been doing. Many other Ghanaians have the resources, but people are dying. People are bereft with so many problems, but who always come to the aid of the people? So we need to build a capacity of Ghanaian businesses to become competitive in global market and secure big global deals, so that even if engineers and planners is well-resourced enough with all the technocrats, with all the equipment, with all the logistics, with everything, and they go and secure a mining deal in, let's say, Australia. Wouldn't that be putting Ghanaian businesses on the very high pedestal? So we should not try to politicize everything we do in Ghana. That's why Ghana, we don't have billionaires. You notice that in Ghana, when we are mentioning billionaires, it is always limited to about 5 to 10 people. Have you gone beyond that? If they
maybe that's a lot of number. If you're looking at it.
If you look at it, just
those who have come out. I mean, and billionaires are not just you just randomly say this person is a billionaire.
No, based on assets,
exactly,
and certain things. And here, if you measure billionaires in Ghana, we are always talking about the same people we have been mentioning over the past 10 years as billionaires. They are the same people we have been mentioning. So when are we going to have a deliberate policy to make millionaires in this country? There are other countries, it's a deliberate policy. China is a deliberate policy. Japan, deliberate policy. UK, deliberate policy to empower, even in South Africa. In South Africa, the biggest mining company in South Africa now is a South African. You understand? He took over some of the old mines in South Africa, reworked on them, and today they are turning in huge sums of millions of dollars. So if engineers and planners, how do you have a concession since 1992? That you have not tempted to operate it.
And it's running loss.
And it is running loss. And you are supposed to be paying certain taxes to Ghana Revenue Authority that you haven't been doing. And mostly there should be some caveat on this kind of concessions list. So that if we give it to you for 10 years, after 10 years you are not able to do anything about it, it should come back to the state. Are you getting my point? You cannot say the concession we own it since 1992 KMG. Since 1992 up to now, we have not done anything about it. And if somebody who is also an investor or a business-oriented person believes that it's a good deal, we can look at it because the mineral cannot be deposited there forever and ever. It can be extracted for some development purposes. So if engineers and planners is of the view that it's a viable business, let us go into it. Let us secure $100 million facility from the EcoWank Bank. What prevents you from supporting the process and letting it work than try to politicize it and make it look like it is a politically infused opportunity that he never merited the opportunity, but it was given to him on a silver platter because his brother is the president? That is not a reasonable argument to make, because at the end of the day, is engineers and planners competent enough? Do they have the capacity to handle the concession? Do they have the resources to operationalize it, so that at the end of the day it can become a win-win situation for all of us? The state will also benefit, the ENP company will also benefit. ENP, have they not employed Ghanaians?
A lot of them.
They have employed Ghanaians. So why this political witch hunting and vindictiveness all along? So does that mean that if my brother is the president, I should not do any other business? I should not get any other state contract? I should not be involved in anything? Does it make logical sense? So this argument about we own the concession and we have not sold it out to engineers and planners, we are still trying to battle it in the legal frame or the legal means, it doesn't add up. We should just allow engineers and planners to really activate what they have been doing all this while in the interest of all of us, so that when they start mining that gold, whatever comes in, it will be directed or channeled into some of the 24-hour economy projects that they have just recently launched.
Absolutely, especially with the fact that the president has also intimated that it is about time that Ghanaians own their own gold mines.
Yes,
I'm sure this is one of the things.
These are the reasons why. These are the reasons why we have gold, but virtually we have become beggars in our own country. God has blessed us with gold, timber, lithium, oil, everything, but we don't own it. That is what Kwame Nkrumah was guiding against about the new colonialist mentality. That you need to own the things, own the resources yourself. That is the only way you can say that oil, for instance, oil revenue that we get. Can we say today that the oil that we get, we are using it to construct a highway 6-lane, 5-lane from Accra to Kumasi?
No.
That generation will come and say that all that we discovered, that's what we used to connect a 6-lane, 3 in, 3 out from Accra to Kumasi. Or it is that money that we use to build a train network from Accra to Kumasi. Or that is the money that we use to eradicate all schools under trees. You see, countries, when they get resources, they deliberately allocate it into taking care of other sector of their country's economy that will bring back the investment. Okay?
And I'm thinking that if there's a Ghanaian who owns this, that person would be very worried about bad roads.
Of course.
And would want to make an effort to even independently try and support government to be able to fix those roads.
Of course,
because those roads will be leading to wherever the concessions are.
Of course. We need a deliberate allocation of our mineral resources, that when we get this quantum of money from gold, this is the percentage that we are putting into infrastructure. This is the percentage that we are putting into industrial empowerment. This helps. So at the end of the day, you put it into productive sector, that becomes what? Your cash cow. That will bring you back the revenue. Okay? But if you are just using petroleum revenue for recurrent expenditures, using it for some frivolous expenditures, at the end of the day, we cannot beat our chest and say that this is what we have made out of oil. Go to Botswana. Go to Botswana, go to Malawi, go to all these other South African countries that are extracting oil. They are using it for specific sectors of their economy. If it is education, it's education. If it is infrastructure, it's infrastructure. But me and you, we are sitting here today, can we beat our chest and say that the oil we have been receiving, it is being used for this specific purpose? Zero. We are only using it to support budgets, using it to support other frivolous recurrent expenditures, which is not good for us as a country. So I sincerely believe that engineers and planners is a world position company. Just like Zoom Lion, you know the banter with Zoom Lion? Zoom Lion, it's a Ghanaian company, but why are we making it look like Zoom Lion is extorting the country? Where Zoom Lion is giving opportunities in Kenya, Nigeria, or other African countries, they are extending hands to him because of what? Expertise, resources, logistics, network, and capacity to do what? Deliver on their deliverables. But we are here bastardizing Zoom Lion and making Zoom Lion look like it's an evil organization, which is not good. So I personally support engineers and planners, and engineers and planners.
Richard, I also think that when people get that opportunity, they should also put the interest that the people have had. And it's because you spoke about Zoom Lion. I mean, there's been that back conversation about how people are treated, and I'm not holding a brief for.
No, even if you look at that issue,
but I'm saying that people who are given that opportunity to make things happen in this country should also be looking at the interest of the people.
Of course. And the Zoom Lion, see, Zoom Lion is only managing the people on behalf of YEA. Zoom Lion did not tell government that this is what we are expecting, this is what we are going to pay the street sweepers. It is the government that engaged Zoom Lion, and Zoom Lion is supposed to manage the street sweepers on behalf of YEA. So if you are paying them some amount of money that there is a public backlash about it, that you should pay them more, it is the matter of you going to sit on the table with them and increase the quantum of money that you are giving them so that they can also give to the street sweepers. But the street sweepers, mind you, they don't sweep 24 hours, neither do they sweep 8 hours. They sweep within a specific period they are done and they go. Okay?
Well, that's our conversation on the portal and what has been reported this morning here on the show. We're going to be getting into
my big men are around. So now I have to keep quiet.
Awal Mohammed is here, and Honorable Asiedu Nketia is also here this morning. Gentlemen, how are you doing?
Oh, God is good.
Not bad.
Yeah. That's the heavy rains in Accra.
Yes.
But you need that for planting.
I need it in a front place, not Accra. Especially Accra.
You know, Awal, you good?
Yes, sir.
How's the party and everybody and
Yes,
everything?
the party is doing well. Yesterday we had a press conference at the Ablekuma North office behind the Odoko market, which was addressed by the General Secretary. You know, the EC, from all indications, I think we will have to support Asiedu Nketia and the NDC to reset them. Because looking at what is going on right now, you as a media person is even surprised that someone who has written to the police that give us protection to collect 3, they wrote 4 letters to the police, to the extent that Roxanne Nelson Dafiaopo invited them to Parliament. In Parliament, when they were asked, will there be any run of the elections? They said no, there will not be any rerun. They only need police protection to collate the remaining 3. That day, the minority led by Afenyo Markins walked straight to the police headquarters and told the police that they said this is what they need, help them. Then after that, because Asiedu Nketia came and sat on Joy News and told Evans Mensah that the 3 people will be resetted, they will remove them from the office as EC. A week later, you come select 19 polling stations and say you will want to run 19 polling stations. When there are available press releases that you brought out and said that it is only left with 3. So what is happening? It is either they have been cowed to submission or they've been compromised. And it is really dangerous for our democracy. So all we're looking for is that the EC run any policy. The CDD is even surprised that how you went and addressed the nation. Bossman Asari, you addressed the nation and said that it's left to only 3. You don't think there is a need for any rerun. Today you are telling us that you are rerunning 19 polling stations. So from all indications, they will want to rig the elections in favor of the NDC, and that will not portend well for our democracy.
The EC that you supported strongly,
We did not support them just based on our whims and caprices. We supported them based on
the way they have done, or the way they were doing it.
Yeah, exactly. When you are working today, if I support
now they are not doing their work.
I am not saying they are not doing their work well. You, the media, can judge because you have read press releases from them severally. You have played the video of Bossman Asari on this platform. I watched you the day he went to Parliament, the following day. You played it. When our people went to police headquarters and the police said that they will give them the security to do the 3. So why the U-turn? We will have to speak about it. If you tell me any instance that we're supporting the EC that it is untenable, you can just give an
because
instance.
the NDC felt they were also treated some way about.
You see, when you are in opposition, it is normal to
looks as if it's turned.
When you are opposition, it's normal to criticize the EC so that they sit up. Not necessarily saying that what they were doing was wrong. You will criticize them. It happened under Afarijan. We said he is the best EC that Ghana has ever had. Yeah. But at any point in time, you had the opposition on his neck so that he would do the right thing. You understand? When the opposition is urging you to do the right thing, it's not really about... we did the same to Charlotte Osei. They did it to this EC. But the thing is that if you have come out clearly to tell us that you are left with only 3 polling stations, this is us at February 8th when Tete issued a press release and said that they had done all the 81 except 3 polling stations.
Today, you wrote to the EC 4 times. You wrote to the police 4 times that the police should give you protection. You went to Parliament and said Parliament should assist you so that they talk to the police to do that. So our parliamentarians walked to the EC headquarters and said, assist them, to the police headquarters and said, assist them. Now, in the turn of event, just within a week, because you've been intimidated, you just come out to tell us that you are running 19 polling stations on Friday. That is untenable. That's the reason we're telling them that.
So it won't work.
How can this work? How can this work? That's why I'm saying that it's a calculated attempt by the EC to rig the elections for Arabna, because we have won the elections by 414 votes. Today, if you ask any NDC person, they cannot tell you the number of votes they used to win the seat. We had done press conferences with all the pink sheets and all the results from all the 81 polling stations. The NDC is yet to organize a single press conference to tell you that they have won the elections and they have been able to line up all the 81 polling stations and said that this is because you see, every political party has the pink sheets. If any political party tells you that they don't have a pink sheet, they are lying, because when you go to the polling stations to vote, the polling agent over there, after everything, after it is certified, he is given a carbon copy of the results at the polling station. What we do in our party is that the moment you are given, you don't send it to a collation center because the original one is being sent to the collation center. It is for the party to keep. So they sent it to us, we scan everything. So if you go to the collation center and they even bend the entire collation center, the results are still there. And by law now, scan copy is as original as the original copy. The only thing is that they will only have to look at the serial numbers and the security features on it to authenticate, and that is it. So if you are now telling us, and again, when you check the press release by Tete, in the press release, he said that the regional organizer of the NDC went and disrupted the place. He mentioned Anthony Nupenu, that he went and disrupted the place and so. So all this happened. Today, you are telling us that you're going to run 19 polling stations. You select 19 NDC strongholds to tell us that you are going to run these the polling stations just to rig the elections for the NDC.
All right.
This is not acceptable.
Thank you. I don't know if Honorable wants to respond to any of them quickly before we move on. But we're looking at the issue.
Listeners, I think the accounts have an adage that you can many be a surayana. To it, he who behaves a lot is scared to sleep. Facing up, because he knows what he's been doing. But then let's state the facts as they are. Yes, NPP claims they have scanned copies of a so-called carbon copy given to them. That scanned copy, when you come to the collation room, it has to collaborate with what the EC has, and then what the NDC also have, and then what the other parties have. The EC and the NDC don't have it. So you claiming you have it, only God knows where you printed it from. So how do you expect the EC?
But they were scanned and
that was accepted
so by the NDC. By the NDC. The same thing. Why doesn't the NDC have the same thing?
But you want
the point of rerun is that
for that.
The point of rerun is simply that the EC doesn't have copies of what you are claiming you have. So why do you want them to base their judgment on what you have? Who knows where you printed it from? The EC says it cannot authenticate what you have. They don't have the original of what you have. It only deals with the original. Nobody in Ghana collates results with scanned copies. That has never been done anywhere before. We always go with the original or carbon copies. Where there are problems, we go to the original. If we all go and we have the carbon copies, we use that to collate. Nobody has ever used anything on any phone to ever do any collation in any single police station before. I don't know why they want that to be done this time around. So let's also not pretend as if, because the EC is so incompetent. Yes, the NDC has never shied away from the incompetence of the EC.
You still stick by that?
We still stand by it.
I never said they are incompetent. I said they are deliberately doing these things.
You knew how you were using them in the past. So you are suspecting that maybe the NDC is using them please know we are not using them in any way. Their incompetence is just at play for Ghanaians to now see what we've been talking all about. Do you understand? You knew how you were manipulating them to do things for you in the past. Now, God so good, it has been exposed. Look at the things that happen all around. Look at Obuasi East. A whole MP goes to sign a declaration from the yes, I've accepted, I've lost. Come to Accra, EC says, no, we don't think you lost. We are redeclaring it, and they declared in favor of the MP, and he says, okay, if you have declared from...
You went to court and lost the case.
Please. If you are talking about coalition, I'm giving you a vivid example.
In Obuasi, you went to court and lost the case.
It's result declared in the court. And results declared in
it is
court.
supposed to. Exactly.
No. So I'm telling you things that you yourself have benefited from today, you are bastardizing the same thing. The EC declared results in Obuasi in the presence of a whole member of parliament who says, yes, I've accepted, I've lost. Signed a declaration from himself on video camera. The next moment, EC calls that same result and says, no, we don't accept what you have done in Obuasi.
Because it was done under duress.
You were speaking, I was right here. So try let me finish. You see, so you did the same thing. Turn around and come and say, no, we are recollating it. And you declared it. It wasn't even declared in Obuasi, it was declared here in Accra. We did it, we ran to court, said everything, court said no. They have declared for him. Once the EC declares, that's the end. The only thing the court can do is to call for a rerun. Do you understand? So yes, you can go to court, you don't have a problem.
They have actually gone to
court. But you claim the place is your constituency, you won it, why are you afraid to go for a rerun? I don't just get it. They knew what they were doing with the EC. God so good, it has been exposed. The NDC will never shy away from the fact that this EC has been so incompetent. It is just the patience of the NDC and the love for Ghana that has kept this country afloat.
Your chairman wants her removed.
Yeah, because they are incompetent.
We're still going to go on that level?
Yeah, we still stand by that. No, because she was appointed to do the work of an appointee, an appointer. So she's been doing her work. God so good, Ghanaians decided, listen, we are not the EC ourselves. We took the destiny of this country into our own hands. We made sure we went in like Azuma Nelson, gave them a knockout that they cannot even stand up to even stand for the count. So everybody knew, okay, now it's over. So there was nothing she could do.
So even after a successful rerun, you're still going to make sure that the EC does not occupy that position?
Oh, as a party, we cannot go and remove.
I know.
The EC. As a government, you can't do that. But I'm the same processes that were used, legal processes that were used to say Charlotte Osei did procurement and whatever that she has to go. If we check and there are those things, the law has to apply. But the fact still remains that we in the NDC think this particular group of electoral commissioners are so incompetent. It's only God that held our democracy, and then the patience of the NDC that held our democracy together.
Okay. So it looks like both the NPP and the NDC really do not agree with the EC right now.
But KMJ,
Richard.
But KMJ, you see, I don't understand the NPP sometimes when they lament over certain issues. You see, even the Electoral Commission itself, they are per their mandate and per the legal status that established them. When there are discrepancies in any election, their constitution or their ally or whatever mandates them to do a rerun, if necessary. And like I said earlier on before my seniors came in, I said every institution is a human institution. Therefore, there's a room for introspection. So if in the past, EC felt that based on what you have given us, we can stand on it to make a determination to say that either party won or not, and upon further introspection, they've come to realization that it is actually proper that we need to rerun these places so that there will be fairness. I don't see what prevents anybody from doing that. And then again, the senior man here says that that's how it's supposed to be. EC must have their collated results. NDC must have their collated results. The other political parties must all have their collated results. And when it is tallied, it must it must align with what the system is producing. But if one side is saying we don't have the result, we don't have the document to buttress our point, therefore let it rerun, what prevents EC from doing that? But initially, I was of the view that EC was trying to save time, EC was trying to save cost, EC was looking at other factors for which reason they believe that let us just collate what is available and make a final determination. But if upon further introspection and assessment of the case put before them by NDC, and they are of the view, candid view, that there must be a rerun, for me, let a rerun. But then if NPP today, I want immediately mention that, oh, if they have to be reset, then they should be reset. Because obviously, they also then now come to realization that EC is not good. So they should be reset. So that means that if it is not about you, then it must not be anybody else. It is about what we want or nothing other than that. And we cannot govern a country like that. We cannot run a country like that. So they should allow the EC to do their work, just as they've been admonishing all other people along the line that allow EC to work. This time around, we are also telling the NPP to allow the EC to work. Simplicity.
Okay. KMJ, the lawyers are saying that if you check the CI that we use for the elections, if there are any dispute, you go to court, High Court. EC cannot sit in their office and unanimously.
That's what you do.
Yes, right. Yes, they are even supposed to go to court for the court to order a rerun, because there is already a court.
The EC has to go to
yes, there's a ruling. No, I'm coming. I'm coming.
So the process is not finished.
I'm coming. There is a court ruling already from the High Court that says that go and collate.
Yes.
The court never said that go and rerun. So the court ruling is what we are enforcing now.
No.
Why no?
The process.
Why no?
The only time a court can come in an election is when the EC declares and one party is not comfortable.
Exactly.
So listen.
This collation was not done. One person goes to court and says,
and the court said
them to go and finish the collation.
And the court said go and collate.
Yes, and the EC
now the EC is telling I'm going to rerun. So it's even an affront to the court ruling.
No.
That is it. That is what the lawyers are saying.
No,
so that is the reason.
It doesn't mean that whatever the court tells EC, they must also go and act on it.
They must.
No.
They must.
No.
If they don't agree, they have to go and challenge.
That's a court ruling, and I'm not.
The court ruling must should be implemented. This is not logic. This is law.
No. The law is that once the EC is in the process from voting, collation, declaration, no other entity can interfere except the EC.
That is why the ruling was.
I'm coming. Except the EC. Yes. So when the EC is in the process of going to declare, and he doesn't declare the result, not even the court can declare.
So the court ordered them to go and do the
EC is delaying in the process of collation, completing the collation to the point of declaring. Then one party goes to court and say, compel the EC to finish the collation.
And the court gave that ruling.
Yes, the court says go and do the collation.
And you are not doing what the court has asked you to do.
Go and finish the collation, and they are saying, listen, before we can even finish the collation, we don't even have this pink sheet to complete the process.
So the EC has done that already.
No, they have to go to court to tell court that we don't have it.
No.
But this is not logic. This is law.
That's what I'm saying.
This is law.
Exactly. So let's see what really comes out from the court, and then based on that, I'm sure we'll be able to make progress. But I mean, as it stands right now, the NPP is not ready for the rerun. The NDC is ready for it.
The
EC is ready for it.
Yeah, we are already
on Friday. So let's see what comes out at the end of Friday. But that will be very, very interesting. It will be very, very interesting. So we're definitely going to be following that as well.
You remember Asiedu Nketia's hometown?
Oh. The Bruno
time.
Yeah, time.
So NPP is trying to avoid further humiliation.
But I mean, where NDC sits right now, I mean, it's only proper that they feel the way they are feeling. They feel very confident about the fact that they will be able to win this rerun.
No, we are not taking chances.
Well,
we are not taking chances.
It's just the NPP stronghold.
We need an absolute test.
Yeah.
You have it already.
No, we don't have it. The independent guys can change their mind. And they
can't change their mind. They can't change. How can they change their mind?
No, but they can decide to vote against you. What can you do?
Well,
okay,
that would be their decision.
When the VP system is not so match on an independent candidate. It can only be on.
But you've gagged them. They are not talking anymore.
How can you gag them? How can you gag somebody?
They are not talking anymore.
You can gag A+.
How many times have you heard
quiet
A+
all this while?
Yes,
If you want to speak,
you've gagged them.
everybody will give you the chance to speak.
A+ started speaking and you gagged him. Now he cannot speak again.
Speaking on social media is different from speaking in the chamber.
Oh, but he's made some.
After he said that the Attorney General is incompetent, Attorney General is corrupt, he gagged him and he cannot talk again.
That's the personal issue.
I'm not sure that's a
He said it publicly.
Personal issue.
And you even remove him from the
between the
majority.
Oh no, yeah, I think that issue has been
even came out.
The majority
allegation has been refuted. That has been refuted.
Anyway,
He was readmitted.
okay, let's make some progress now. I'm going to be reading some of your messages, so keep them coming. WhatsApp line is active. We're also streaming live on Facebook, and so you can send your messages over there. I'll read all of them. I'll have time and read all of them. Let's get to the gold board issue. And the inauguration has been done. Now we're looking at what's the way forward. And I'm sure a lot of people will be looking out for what they'll be doing on the grounds. I'm excited about it. I mean, no doubt about it, because we all know
the reward aspect.
The 10%.
I have a problem with that. I have a personal problem
with that. But
becomes chaotic.
Yeah, that's.
You think so?
Yeah, I'll explain to you why.
Okay, great. I'll come to you, but let me start off with Honorable. Honorable, what's the way forward?
For me, I think one of the best decisions this government took was to actually institute the gold board. You see, we may not see what the president is envisaging with this particular gold board, but if you look at the history of cocoa board, at least you can anticipate what we are trying to do. Because if, excuse me to say, some other nationals can just come to Ghana, once you have money in your pocket, or you have, not even at the bank, once they carry money in their backpacks and market, they can just go, call one of you boys from the villages, buy gold, and before you realize, even the most painful part is how some of them even take it out of Ghana. Some just melt it into bangles, chains, rings, and they are gone. It will shock you. People can carry about 2 kilograms of gold, 10 kilos with chains like that, and just go. There's nothing you can do to them at the airport. Once it's their jewelry, there's nothing you can do. And if you look at how much this country was losing in terms of gold getting out of this country, that is smuggling, this gold board is supposed to block all those loopholes so that all the trading of gold, just like cocoa board, a time will come when you have to go through the gold board. Just like cocoa, we purchase cocoa from all the farms to the depots, and the depots to cocoa board. If you're able to streamline this, you can't imagine the revenues this country. Already, Bank of Ghana is enjoying the benefits of gold board. Now, as I speak to you, even the gold prices are going up. So it means if we all come on board and we streamline this properly, we can protect and preserve this, our natural assets. And it's also a way of discouraging the illegal mining by foreigners. Because if the foreigners pump so much money into the illegal mining and they cannot take the gold out themselves, they will advise themselves. So yes, most of the galamsey activities you see are also sponsored by the foreigners. Because they sponsor it, they put money into it, and they take the gold there and then. But if you take the gold from the bush and you cannot take it out, they will think twice. So for me, I think I'm happy with the task force, especially once it's a blend of the military, the police, and some of the national security operatives. I believe at least it will cut out some of the chaotic efforts at fighting the galamsey menace. Then, the most importantly, we are from Kumasi. If you ask my brother, there are at times you get to the airport and you see how people are moving gold, and you are like, so what is happening? Even on buses, how they move gold, just like that. It's like, but you can't even put one bag of cocoa in a bus and say you are coming to Accra to come and sell. It's not possible. So if we're able to streamline our things properly, it's the same way we have been able to get a very clear line of movement for cocoa, coffee, and the rest. We can get the same for gold board. And that way, we rake in much more revenue.
Okay.
Now, the aspect of people getting 10%.
Oh, we'll get into that. Let's make that our next round of conversation.
Yeah.
Let me hear from Richard. He seems to have an issue with the 10%. That's what you have an issue with.
But you said
I wanted to get your initial remark on the inauguration itself.
Well, to be honest with you,
the tax force itself.
Yeah, it's like a new wine in an old wine skin. To say it like that, straightforward. It's a new wine in an old wine skin. Yeah, because what they have launched is not different from all the ones that Nana Akufo-Addo has done before. You've forgotten that at some point we deployed the military and gave them the mandate to combat Galamsey. What happened? Major Mahama ended up losing his life and all these things. But at the end of the day, Galamsey is still festering and is becoming more profitable than ever before. But it is always good to streamline things. It is always good to put all your national resources in the basket where you can have absolute control over what comes and what goes. But if you leave it to the black market operators for foreigners to come and buy and go, the initial idea was that it goes through PMMC. But you see, many people you say you can export gold without actually going through PMMC. So there have always been loopholes or leakages as far as our gold production and what we sell and what comes back to the country is concerned. And don't also forget that the big miners, because of the foreign retention agreement that we have with them, if they mine and export their gold, at least they are supposed to keep almost about 80 or 90% of the profit they make in offshore account. It is only about 10% that is supposed to be in their accounts here in Ghana. So obviously, that cannot cushion the Bank of Ghana enough for us to have a strong CD against the dollar. So a gold board is also good. But again, there's always the big elephant in the room, which is called corruption. You see, as he's talking about cocoa board, how profitable has cocoa board been? How profitable has cocoa board been? What has been the contribution of cocoa board in our national development so far? What has been? Zero. Even if it can be, we use the cocoa for syndicated loans. By the time we get the loan, we use it for recurrent expenditure, some frivolous expenditure.
Maybe the Honorable will argue that that was under a different administration.
I'm saying. I'm saying that cocoa, like I was saying to you initially, that you see, that's why cocoa board came with what we call cocoa roads. Cocoa roads. So the idea is that we made this amount of money from cocoa, and we are putting this chunk of the money back into constructing cocoa road. But what is the corruption that is associated with cocoa road in itself? People take the contract and sell it off and take their money. Then the one who get the contract go and do some wishy-washy job within a period of 6 months. The road is what? Absolutely destroyed. So all we are praying for is that this gold board initiative, it is good, but it shouldn't also not become too rigid, so that you scare every international player who may want to come into your market to operate. But if gold board is not going to be bureaucratic, that is the issue. Sometimes it becomes so bureaucratic that even to get a gold to purchase, it becomes problematic. And then again, I pick from the vine grape that some of the gold that the gold board is even buying, they are buying it from the Galamseyers. The gold that they are buying to cushion the dollar, they are buying it from the Galamseyers.
This is a fact.
It's a fact. They are buying it from the Galamseyers. Because most of the big international license companies, they may not want to sell their gold. They have the license to export their gold. So it is the small one that you are buying from them. And most of the small ones, so it is not all of them who are licensed. They buy from them in an attempt.
So is the small scale or the
Galamseyers and the small scale operators.
But the small scale operators,
some are licensed.
Exactly.
Some are licensed, but I'm saying to you that
small scale miners are licensed.
Almost
the Galamseyers that are not licensed.
Yes, but the Galamseyers are also now supposed to sell to gold board. And they are buying from them.
So you are regularized, you can't.
And let me tell you, with this new task force, you see, we cannot be naysayers. We want to see the country prosper. And I would love to see that the gold that we are talking about, that we are making so much gains with the gold, I want to see dedicated projects that the gold is being used to fund. That is what I want to see. But if you form a gold board and it's still going to be this issue of we get the money and we are only using it for recurrent expenditure, we cannot pinpoint to say that the gold we got, it is what we use to eradicate all schools under trees. Or the gold we got, we've been able to use to set up at least 50 companies that are running. Or the gold we got is what we are using for constructing major roads from Accra to Kumasi, Accra to Takoradi. Or look at Johannesburg. Look at Johannesburg. It is the same gold that they used to develop Johannesburg. What is preventing it? Go to Takwa, go to Obuasi, go to the mining communities in Ghana, and you will weep because they are being extorted. How do you have a cow? You always drain the milk, and you are not ready to feed the cow with grass. So the communities are being exploited. The gold is sitting in their land. You've come and taken it away, but you cannot construct any good road for them. You can't give them potable water. You can't give them school. You can't give them good health center. What is the essence of the gold board in the first place? So the gold board is not just about trying to control Galamsey, because the Galamseyers, like I say, they are like a worm. They are like a virus. You try to kill them from here, they germinate from another source. So for this thing, unless we take it as a state of emergency, where we can curtail gold operation activities in certain jurisdictions, this one, it is just going to be the normal way of doing it in the start. By 1 year, 2 years' time, we forget about this whole thing. Look at all the things that we have been doing. What thing have we been able to sustain in this country before? Mention one thing that we've been able to sustain as a country. Let's mention it to me. You have been sitting on this seat for several years now. Mention to me one thing that we have started and been able to sustain it as a country. That we can say that 5 years down the line, this is what we have been able to get out of this policy that we have triggered. So I am praying and hoping that the gold board will work effectively. They should not become a conduit for corruption. They should not be a conduit for satisfying the whims and caprices of certain individuals within that framework. But it should be something that tomorrow we cannot beat our chest and say the gold board that we instituted, this is what it has been able to yield for us, not only to cushion the dollar.
Okay. And I think that one major thing that you mentioned that we can also look at is the roads. Some of the roads to these places where gold are mined is
very bad.
Terrible.
Very bad.
You don't want to have a trip.
Potable water, they don't even have. Go to Takwa, they don't have water to drink.
And they tell you this is a gold mine town.
What are you talking about?
Anyway, let me go to Awal, and then when Awal is done, I'll read some comments, and then we'll come back to the issue of 10%, which Richard believes that it's going to be chaos.
It's going to be
chaotic. Awal, what do you make of the task force?
KMJ, I think the only good thing about this gold board is because they have really taken foreigners out of the buying of gold. That is the only good thing I have seen about this gold board. Because you see, now they are, by law, they are supposed to buy from small-scale miners and the artisans, artisanal miners. So now the question is, if I come with gold and I'm selling it to them, will they buy it or ask me my concession before? That's the question. It means, as my brother said, it's possible they will buy from the Galamseyers. Again, the Galamseyers are there. And even the small-scale miners also engage in Galamsey. They are supposed to not supposed to mine 100 meters to the water bodies. They do. So if after doing that and they come to sell and they tell you this is my concession, you still buy from them. Again, this task force, I don't know how feasible their work will be. I don't know how effective their work will be because I don't know their number because the number has not been spelled out.
But it's quite a number. I mean,
yes, so we have 44 entry and exit points in this country.
Talking about.
So in the 44 exit and entries, how many of them will be in these all 44 entries and exits? Don't think that because gold is not really mined around Volta region, they can pick it from Western region and come and pass through Volta region and leave. Again, when you check, the president yesterday in his address said that they are not supposed to embark on any operations except a written warrants from the CEO of Gold Board is giving them before they are able to embark in any of these things. So I see it problematic. Someone is in the Western station in the Western region. They have seen some people smuggling, and they will have to get a written warrant from the CEO in Accra before they are able to really do something. That's problematic. I don't think this thing is very, very, I don't think it will be very effective.
But they'll be working with intelligence.
They are working with intelligence. But what
and also, there's one person who is supposed to be responsible for every action they take, which is the CEO.
The only thing that will help.
It's not proper that they go through that process.
In the initial stages, they will be able to really maybe make some arrest of people who are buying illegally. But in terms of smuggling, you can only control smuggling when you give them realistic prices. You can only control smuggling of gold or anything in this country when you give realistic prices. At a point in time when we're doing higher than Ivory Coast in terms of cocoa prices, there were no smugglers because it is really counterproductive for you to smuggle from here to there. So what we're saying is that who is setting up the prices is the Gold Board. And are the prices realistic? Do they have at least the right prices that they will not get from outside this country when they export it and so on? So these are the problems that they have to look for. Again, our priority in this country is not about where the gold goes. Our priority is our environment. Today, when you're going to Kumasi, they are still there. Came last Monday. And on Monday, when you pass by Osilo and the other places, they are doing it within the township. We are still doing all this, but we are interested, the government is only interested in how the gold is being sold in this country. How? Is this our priority? To think about selling the gold from the small scalers who are doing galamsey, from the artisanal miners who are doing galamsey. We are interested in how to get the gold and sell. You know that I saw a story on My Joy Online yesterday that the IMF is telling the government to stop pumping the dollars into the system so that they use it to control the depreciation of the cedi. And they get all the money from the gold. So that is the reason he's alleging that they even got the thing from the galamseyers. They borrow all the gold from the galamseyers because they want to satisfy one end by trying to say that we want the stability of the city. But unfortunately, you're also destroying our environment with that. So what should be the priority of this government? Should be how we can control our environment and control the miners so that they will be on their lane. Let's know who those who have been licensed, who they are buying the gold from. Because if you license them to go and buy the gold, Ghanaians buying the gold, they go and buy from the galamseyers, you're not doing anything. You're only further destroying our environment. So my issue is that the government should make sure that they declare the state of emergency, they said during the campaign period, and make sure that at least we are able to safeguard our environment so that if the gold is coming, you know that it is coming from a purer source, not really from those who are destroying our environment.
All right. We're going to go into the issue of 10%, and also the president saying that it's about time that Ghanaians own their own gold mines, which is one of the things that we've been talking about all the time. Unfortunately, ENP started one, and it's bringing a lot of issues already. This morning about the Azuma concession and all that. You know, Richard said we don't have about 10 billionaires in this country. We're always against them and all of that. So let me do some few messages and then we'll move on. Okay, so this one is coming from, UK1, and it says, good morning, KMJ, and your able panelists. How on earth will NPP shy away from an elections in their own so-called stronghold? All shows that the EC were being manipulated by the then Bawumia NPP-led government. And this shows that the NPP lost the 2020 elections, where presidential results were announced by the EC with over 5 different results until date. The results ain't been published on their website. Please, KMJ, have you watched or listened to the NPP Director of Elections assuring the NPP polling agents that they are done with the EC concerning the 2024 elections and that the NPP was going to win no matter what, and being so good, Ghanaians voted massively for the NDC to the extent that Mr. Digital had no option than to throw in the towel. Please tell Awal that it ain't only Asiedu Nketia who have commented on the reset of the EC, but his own hypocrite NPP communicator said, saying on News File last Saturday's show, there's a saying that every human slaughter fears to sleep in the position, and that's the NPP for you. Well, Honorable also mentioned that proverb this morning. Now, that KMJ, imagine the NPP PC telling the NDC PC to go to her hometown if she wants to be an NP. What an apology of PC. UK wanted to be send that from Go. Let me go to Teacher Kojo, and it says that it's a good move for Chief Justice Tokono to also seek a neutral hearing, especially outside Ghanaian jurisdiction, since it seems that the overturning of the case is disturbing. All governments that have passed and gone have worked with the Chief Justices they came to meet until they retired. Why is this sudden change and removal? For me, a removal would jeopardize the trusted judicial system in Ghana. This one over here says that, let me go down, it says that, wow, that's a lot. Where do I even start from?
I think the same thing has repeated itself.
Is it? But it begins with however, so I'm not too sure where exactly to begin with. Okay. You have promised the world that you pass LGBTQ laws, and no country can force their culture and values on us. In opposition, you even pressured the former president to sign the bill. You have been given the biggest opportunity to reiterate your message to the world leaders, and you couldn't even make a decision. This is cowardice. He's competent, his track records. He's a Ghanaian and will employ Ghanaians. All right, so there was a vote that was supposed to have included Ghana in the issue of LGBTQ in the UN. And Ghanaians said
total misinformation.
Well, we abstained from it. That's what
no vote on LGBTQ.
Really?
There was no vote.
What's the report saying that we abstained from the Ghana?
It was a different thing. It was a vote on accelerated expert on gender and children's rights and something. And
it has nothing to do with
So all the media houses got it wrong.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
All the media houses got it wrong. Oh.
It was totally misleading.
So what are you doing with it?
The first time I'm hearing that.
What are you doing with the law?
Submitted.
Where?
The bill has been
That's a lie. That's a lie. It has not. It has not. He said they are in the process of resubmitting.
No,
they have not.
He posted me. No. He posted on his Facebook page. I don't know whether you read it.
When?
I think about 2 weeks ago or so.
Yes, he said they are in the process of resubmitting it. They have not submitted. Why haven't they read it?
Recently, they've submitted it. So what's your problem?
So this now you need a big stomach to ignore a lot of trash. All the things they attacked in 8 years, isn't it surprising? They are defended in just 7 months. Brookman Annabelle sent in that one. Let me go to Lord TJ in Kumasi, and it says, when your own weapon is used against you, it is called a broken arrow in American military terms. Yeah. The NPP's own weapon, EC, is being used against them, and they are screaming high heavens, and Ghanaians are really enjoying this. How do you think Ghanaians are enjoying this anyway? Good morning. In fact, Ablekuma North parliamentary election came out with so much issues. How come just 3 polling stations which had issues with coalition now become 19? NDC using all tactics to take the seat from the woman. Greetings to Honorable George Krobia Asante, incoming National Youth Organizer. Daniel and Ablekuma sending that one. NAB is here, and it says that Good morning, KMJ. First of all, special greetings to Honorable Bright Sylvie Kumi, NPP National First Vice Chairman Hopeful. I fully support the decision taken by the NPP not to contest this contemptuous election in Ablekuma North. The EC's decision to rerun some elected polling stations are born out of bad faith. The commissioners are choosing their jobs over their integrity. It's a shame. And I'm not more Ablekuma Central sent in that one. And Sambuachi says, should being who has the final say is not the case. The NDC should stop intimidating and pressuring the Electoral Commission because the evidence is clear that the NPP won the Ablekuma North. We will not accept any rerun elections. Is it not interesting? So it is not interesting. So it means Mahama has inaugurated a task force for gold board. This can never make any difference, but it creates avenues to loot the taxpayers' money. Now, what has yielded from the Blue Water Guards Task Force for Galamsey? Look, Ghanaians are very discerning and have had enough of lies and propaganda. Rest and Honorable Ernest Yao Kumi, regards to Thomas Oyineba Boachi, and that's a champon. Okay, Sami Boachi sending in that one from there, and let me move to this one over here. Okay, so I've got my thesis coming through this morning. Good morning, KMJ. You see the hypocrisy in the country is what is making us retrogress. People will be against something in less than a second. It will be for it. You can't force to buy something from me if I'm not ready to sell it. You remember the issue of Dr. Brian Champong and the hotel issues. So what did NDC say as a den, or was Brian an Indian? He has always been an astute businessman. Is it today that the president realized Ghanaians should be allowed to own businesses when under his watch businessmen are being harassed here and there? What set the NPP apart from the NDC is that NPP always collates the results of every election before going into any EC collation center. You see, NDC is behaving like the woman whose child dies, and she agreed that they should divide the one who was alive. I have always maintained that the NDC scammed Ghanaians to power. The 24-hour economy aims at electricity stability, but can we talk of electricity stability with the first half of the year under this certain and packaging government? Doomsday is now empty and everywhere you go. DMB for President 2028. My regards to Mohammed Awal. Thanks very much. And that's Nanton Du sending that one in as well. Let me go to Gasti. And Gasti man in Brekum says, so no other Ghanaian company can own it apart from engineer and planners. Zoom Lion is now gone and nobody's talking about it. Power is truly sweet. Your brother assumes power within 7 months and you take over a mining company within same time and you call this merit. I wish to sincerely commend Dr. Baumia for his touching visit to the family of the late NP. True leadership shines through empathy and compassion. That's Gasti man who sent him that. Musa Abato in Asawazi says, Sami Jemfi has truly opened our eyes and minds with his clear explanation of how Gold Board was established, its core mandate, and the strategic role it will play in boosting Ghana's economic recovery. His vision and clarity have reassured many of us that this initiative is not only timely, but crucial for our national development. Ghana is indeed blessed to have the kind of leadership we are witnessing today. And Sami Jemfi has proven beyond doubt that he is more than capable of steering Gold Board as its CEO. All right. And this one says, if you see anyone mining today by the roadside, he will tell you that it was the NPP who gave them small-scale mining license. Abu Samuel Jinapo gave the 6,000 mining license within 10 months. From February 2024 to December alone, 6,000 license was signed for small-scale mining, and they are now making noise. All right, let me do the last one maybe, and then we'll move on. This one says, the NDC is using their power to compromise the EC decision for the rerun. The the court made it clearly that the police inspector should provide huge security for recollection. If it's any rerun, it should be 3 polling stations, not 19. We, the NPP, will not accept this to happen. And the NDC knew clearly they lost the Ablekuma North. The NDC is deliberately behaving into their usually characters. Everyone knows them. They are in this country, which violence and chaos. If the right thing will not be done, then Ablekuma North will not have a representative, but will not accept this unfortunate decision from the EC and the NDC. The EC is now doing this because they threatened to be removed. Simply, good morning, Abdul Aziz, and was sent in that one. Let's get into the incentive that a lot of people believe that would change our situation that we find ourselves in terms of how gold are sold in this country. But I'm sure Richard believes otherwise. But let me start off with Honorable Fiseni. Honorable, 10% is it's a lot.
I wish there was.
I was looking at 5% or maybe less.
It's a 10% on roast food as well, so that we in the Afram place can also enjoy some.
You know.
No, but then.
But would this work? Is this something that would?
Yes, I don't know
the results
how it works on the cocoa smuggling, but you realize that the cocoa smuggling, there's an incentive for most of the whistleblowers.
Okay.
I don't know how that works, but because
we have
the way
how much that
even tax people can even put the cocoa beans in jerrycan gallons, and you see this police going to arrest them. So you should know that even within the communities themselves there are whistleblowers. I don't know how Cocoa Board does it, but there's a whole incentive for it. You see, in my earlier submission, I made mention that for me, the good thing that Gold Board will cure for me is the incentive by foreigners to invest in the Galamsey, especially, not the small-scale mining. Some of them invest in the small-scale mining by partnering Ghanaians.
Okay.
That is legal.
Yeah.
But most of them, majority of them, invest in the Galamsey.
Yeah.
Because that way...
They don't need any...
Yes, they dodge all the taxes.
Processes and all that, yeah.
So what this does is that, because mostly when they do that, they sit there. Once the gold comes out, they take their gold. And they manage to go, like I said, some even put armbands, so I don't know how they call it, but that is it a bangle or bracelet. They put bracelet, big bracelets you see on their fingers. At the airport, there's nothing you can do to stop them. They just take it out. Some do gold chains and rings, and they are off. They just go and remelt it and get their gold. So I thought that particular part of the operation will be cured. Then 2, the activities of the, how do we call it, the Gold Board Task Force. Theirs is to check smuggling and also partner the mainstream security agencies to combat Galamsey. Yes, police, military, Forestry Commission, they are already combating the Galamsey. Even now, MDF also entered a bit. But the main people who are supposed to fight Galamsey in this country are the security agencies, especially Forestry Commission, Combined National Security Task Force under the Lands and Natural Resources Ministry. Now, there's a whole secretariat that actually coordinates those activities so that we don't have chaos.
Okay.
Whistleblowing, in the case of, let's say, are they blowing the whistle on Galamsey or they are blowing the whistle on, how do we call it, smuggling syndicates? So that is where the president alerted us that before there can be a particular operation, it has to be sanctioned by what? The CEO. So let's say in a particular area, the security agency, that is why we have police, military, they all have their intelligence agencies there. Even the national security is also part of the task force. So they detect a smuggling syndicate. The danger is that if you allow them to act individually, they can easily be compromised. You remember the Anas story where they were trying to smuggle out cocoa?
Yeah.
They were able to compromise some people up to some point where they were arrested.
Yeah.
So it's easy if we don't sanction Because the moment the CEO sanctions the operation, all the cameras are on you. Because the CEO...
Okay, so before you move in,
yes,
the preparations have been done.
Yes.
It's not as if once you see the situation, you are going into it. So this one, we're dealing with intelligence.
My brother was saying we have about 44 entry points. Yes, all our 44 entry points are manned by mostly the immigration, the customs, and some of the national security operatives. So at that point, you don't need the CEO's permission to arrest somebody taking out gold. But the processes of confiscation and processes of, let's say, busting a whole smuggling network syndicate like they did recently. That one, yes, you need authorization because you can't just move in. Because if you move in, you have to account for the gold, the cash, and everything that you actually go and then seize.
So the major part of their work will be based on intelligence?
Yes, mostly. But then if there is like, let's say in Kumasi, or as they have it in Takrade, Takwa, especially that my Asankregwa and the enclave, those enclaves, yes, if they want to go into an operation, if it is not sanctioned, before you realize, people can just start wearing uniforms and start going to acts on their operations. And that is where the danger is. And people should also know that this is the number I can call, or this is where I can report to.
We have done that?
Yes. Oh, I think that is... So it's not going to be published. Oh, Fuseni Donko was the one who gave us the tip-off for us to come and arrest the people. No.
So if I'm a whistleblower right now...
Your identity is protected. Your identity...
That is guaranteed?
Yes. They shouldn't even know your... The only point is, when the thing is successful, and there should be a release, once you call, there will be an operative that will be able to identify that this person gave us
contact.
But my fear is, it shouldn't be go and report to the police. Local police, that will be a problem. So what I want is, let's have a dedicated line. Once the person calls, we know that this person called. Let's have a way of protecting the whistleblowers. Because you are dealing with gold.
Yeah.
And gold comes with blood.
Yeah.
So you should know that anybody who is able to give us the lead to arrest these people, they won't take it live.
Yeah, is it something that we have done already? The board has ensured that it's been put in place.
You see?
Or it's something that we're not thinking about it after?
No. If it has not been instituted, I don't think it would have been announced. Yeah, I'm sure going forward, there will be dedicated lines that will be published that, listen, contact this, and there are ways of screening you, even screening your identity. There are ways people can get their rewards without being appearing in person. So
and also checking false alarm. If people want to set the task force up, they can set them up by saying, "Oh, go to this so and so place."
Somebody
you get there and
somebody goes to take somebody's girl and go and hide in a particular area. They just call false alarm. They are dealing good. They're good and just go and get their own personal issues settled. No, I think those ones too. Once you give false alarm, it's a crime under the law. So it's not going to be easy for you to give false alarm and you think you go scot-free. No. For me, where I think I share my brother's fear is the hatchet job that some of competitors will want to use the task force to achieve. We are both dealing in gold. Maybe we are all licensed gold buyers and buyers and distributors. Then, because maybe I'm making more sales, the task force may not even know I have a license. Somebody just blows the whistle, they storm my place, make it look as if I'm doing an illegality. The next day, oh, sorry, this is your document. We are sorry, it was a false alarm. That is where I will caution that anybody who undertakes that particular venture should also be punished. Otherwise, people will use this kind of rough tactics to eliminate their competitors. Because you can go to a particular town, you get about 10 different gold buyers. You get it. And the competition among them, this whistleblower issue can give them an incentive to take out their opponent. So, yes, gold board licenses should be displayed fully in your shops, just like you do business in corporation, these things, you display it in your shops. It should be done boldly. But then the real culprits are those foreigners who come and sit in their hotel rooms, buy the gold, take it out quietly without paying anything to government. Those are the main targets. The main targets are the foreigners sitting in the bush, financing Galamsey, taking the gold and going away with it. Those are the main people. We need the whistles to be blown on them.
Okay, all right. And it comes with 10% from the seized.
Yes. So imagine if we seize 1 million worth of gold. Yours is 100,000 straight.
You're gone. Rich, I want to have the last take. That's good with you, right?
Before I come back. Well, KMJ, it's going to be chaotic in the sense that, first of all, you and I seated in Accra, it's going to be difficult to be whistleblowers because we are not participants.
You deal with the lands.
We are not participants within the Galamsey.
But Rich, you want to become one.
No, I'm coming.
Then relocate.
I'm coming. And those who are going to be the whistleblowers, they are those who are within the communities or within the catchment areas of where the Galamsey activities are happening. Two, if you look at the components on which you can blow the whistle on, is for seize gold or seize cash. So, for instance, if I blow a whistle, there is an illegal mining activities going on here, and they go and they have not found anything, that means I'm not entitled to anything.
About is the offense.
Oh, it is not that rosy. That once you go into...
Not all operations will come out.
Oh, if you see excavator, are you going to dispose of it by selling it, auctioning it, and give my 10%
of the excavator?
Of the excavator sales? Obviously not. So then again, you and I live in the same community, or we live in the same enclave. And all of a sudden, an operation has taken place. The task force has come in, they've gone to some side, they've ransacked people, blah, 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 and they see some gold, they see some monies worth $1 million. Then all of a sudden, within 2 months or within 1 month, me, who everybody knows me in the area that I have nothing, absolutely nothing. All of a sudden, I start to live a lavish lifestyle.
Why would you stay there and live? Why would you stay there?
Why would you stay there? That is amounting to betrayal. We are going to produce a lot of traitors. Okay? And you know, in some jurisdiction, informant work is a death work. You inform on somebody, count yourself dead.
Once you're caught, you're in trouble.
Count yourself dead because you are becoming an obstruction to somebody's success. So the idea is that if I go and inform that there is a gold operation and the syndicate has been busted and I've received my 10%, which is $100,000, there's no way I can spend $100,000 and still be looking like a poor man. Obviously, my status quo will change. So then it will lead to what? Speculation. It will lead to speculation. And I say, operation, I see me see no calls and I say, I talk. I say, then they will go after him. They don't get him. They'll go after his family. Because he said it's blood. So if I don't get you, I'll go after. So speculation can trigger something that somebody will be hurt for, but he may not have enough contribution towards what has happened. So that is an aspect of what I see. It could become what? Chaotic. Because like we said, the incentive bit, it is too high. 10% is not a joke. Okay, 10% is not a joke. If we are talking about gold, gold is huge sums of money. One blade of gold now, 1 kilo of gold now. Do you know the price? So if a kilo of gold is seized, it's going to become an avenue for people to be what? Targeting other people's business unfairly, like he himself is alluding to. And then again, coming back to this issue of the task force, first of all, I want to ask a question. What is now the use of the blue water gas people? Secondly, what is the operational budget? What is the operational budget that has been allocated to this task force? We should be told, we should know that 1 million cedis has been allocated for the execution of their work. So that at the end of the day, we cannot measure. They shouldn't use this aspect also to become a conduit for corruption. Tomorrow they'll come and tell you that we spend 1 billion Ghana cedis on operations. And when they are spent out of budget, is that money coming from the Ministry of Finance or it is coming from Gold Board, IGF? You see, let us define things properly for us in this country. So to conclude on this issue of this 10% incentive, I am still of the view that, look, create an avenue for your people to have sufficient work to do. I told you in Japan, we have what we call the cottage industries. Every village in Ghana has a raw material they produce. If it is not oranges, it is pineapple, or it is cocoa, or it is cassava, or it is something. So look at building industries that surround these local communities. So that at the end of the day, if there is more opportunities for people to engage themselves in, they wouldn't be engaging in galamsey. But if you don't provide these incentives by cushioning the people to have alternative ways of generating revenue, and you think the only way you can combat galamsey is to tell them that when I blow a whistle on somebody, I will get 10%, is what we are going to use as a tool to combat galamsey, I don't see the feasibility. I don't sincerely see it. But then again, if we can do it and we can control the quantum of gold that goes out, that Ghana don't get any revenue from it, I am all for it. But the last point again is that when we are getting the gold, please, government, the minerals God gave you, they are finite. They are not infinite. They are not infinite resources, so they are finite resources. They will finish, they will deplete. That is why when you get something out of it, you must plow it into a sector that you can tell me tomorrow that the gold we got, we have invested it here, and this is the fruit we have reaped out of it. But anything other than that, we are just going in circles and beating our chest and patting ourselves on the shoulder that we are doing well, when we are just moving in circles.
All right, thank you, Rich. Let me go to Awal.
Yes, KMJ. When they started talking, I decided to go back to the story shared by My Joy Online, what the president said about what they are supposed to do, the whistleblowers and the 10%. Now, I'm reading a portion. It said, Mr. Mahama said, whistleblowers channels have been established to enable citizens to report illegal mining activities discreetly and safely. Now, you remember when the Blue Water Guard was formed? This is the thing that they said they were going to do. Why pay people every month for this work and now telling Ghanaians that we should report and we'll get 10%? The first thing the government has to do now is to disband that Blue Water Guard, because they have outlived their usefulness. Because if today you have commissioned over 500 people, you're paying them around 2,000 cedis every month, and you are now telling us that you have a group of people that you call them task force. They are moving around. If someone, just any Ghanaian, do what the Blue Water Guard that you have commissioned are supposed to do, you give him 10%, it means they are not doing anything. They are only drawing allowances from government without doing any work. That is one. Two is that 2 weeks ago, Muntaka, the Interior Minister, Honorable Muntaka, also inaugurated a task force like this that is anti-galamsey. So now the question is, what are these people going to do? What is the task force that Muntaka has also commissioned going to do?
Yeah, well, the fight against galamsey is a huge one. You think that all these people will not contribute in us
that is why we said that you cannot continue to do what we did and still get another resource. We're fighting galamsey with military, police, and others with a task force like this, seizing excavators, burning them, and so on. And it didn't work out. You are still repeating what we did. When you promise the people of this country that you are coming to reset and declare state of emergency in these areas, you're not telling us that, well, if a whistleblower. Now, when you even check what they said about the 10%, when I report that there is an illegal mining going on somewhere, when they go there and they're able to retrieve cash or gold, that is when I get the 10%. So if in the course of really blowing the whistle, someone saw me doing it, and they go there and they do not get cash or gold, I get nothing.
It's more dangerous to even report because you wouldn't know whether they will retrieve money or gold there. You can see people doing it, but maybe this is the time they have started. They have not retrieved any gold and so on. Then you go and you become whistleblower, tell them that they are doing galamsey somewhere. They go there and they don't find it. Your life is at risk in your community that you live in. It is something that is not a new thing, that when you do whistleblowing in this country, police, they have people who do whistleblowing for them and they pay them. They don't just make it public, but every police officers have people within communities that give them tips to
informants.
They call them informants.
Yeah.
They pay them every month. When they do it, as and when they do it, they pay them. So you see, this is just cosmetics for you to just come and tell us
won't
that
yield any results.
10%. Me going to report when the person can even give me 20%. I am saying that the most important thing is that make sure that you give them realistic prices for the gold. They wouldn't even sell it to any smuggler. Why would they sell it to any smuggler when the smuggler cannot give them more than you are giving them? Again, we have to secure our borders so that it doesn't go. But ultimately, how do we protect our environment? We shouldn't be only interested in the gold to go and sell it and pump it into the forex market and say that we are holding the dollar. We are making sure that the cedi appreciates and so on. When you are creating a huge problem that in the next 10 years you will not even get water to drink in this country. So that is the reason I'm saying that the government's priority should be on how to combat galamsey, not how to buy the gold from galamseyers, because you go and buy the gold, because now we don't know whether those who have been licensed, because Sami Jefi is saying that he has licensed over 300 people to buy gold on behalf of Gold Board. Are they going to set up office in all the districts so that you know that this is where you go and sell your gold? Or they will go into the bush and start buying. So when you meet them, they will tell you that I have a license that I can buy. And again, are people with gold coming to sell it will have to show their concession, the certificate that they are from this concession or that concession before they sell it to you. You are only creating a problem. You are not solving any problem in this country.
Okay. And over the weekend, I was
just a single intervention. The Blue Water Guards, they are supposed to strictly deal and man our water bodies. So their job is to, one, combat those on the water bodies polluting our waters together with the security agencies. So theirs is to monitor.
So they are not the informants.
They don't go into the forest reserves and all those things. They deal with the specific, and that's why they are called the Blue Water Guards. They patrol mostly our river bodies. Their job is to make sure
they are directing traffic in the western region. You saw the story, the video. They are directing traffic.
You want to know?
I've seen videos of them standing around Axim directing traffic.
Maybe it is the
I am telling you, this is a statement of fact.
The Mills Police.
But I know community police. I work for youth employment. The Blue Water Guard.
So the Blue Water Guards, this is to make sure anybody polluting our water bodies, you immediately report to the security agencies.
And they're currently working.
They were the ones who helped us pass the Azim.
So last time, Bakwesi Shandov was here and I asked him questions about what he said. There's going to be a new report on what they've been doing.
Even
so far.
when Erasmus
I don't know when it's going to be
published the river that was being polluted in Azim, it was the Blue Water Guys that led the police there. So this and
only giving them some entitlement that they don't really deserve. No. They didn't do anything. That is the reason Bakwesi Shandov, the spokesperson, is telling you that there will be a report because he didn't. Erastus is not the spokesperson for the ministry.
No, he blew the
ministry spokesperson is telling you that there is no really concrete thing to say now.
So Honorable, moving forward,
let's not twist or try to create chaos when there is none. The Task Force for Gold Board, their main job is to make sure they cut the smuggle cartel in the country. And I explained to you that, yes, whilst combating the galamsey fight, one of the biggest incentives is the foreign sponsorship in the galamsey.
Yeah.
So if the task force duty is to make sure that even if you put your money there, you can't take the gold out.
It's a loss for you.
Yes. And it's a disincentive even in the investment of the galamsey. Mind you, galamsey is heavily invested.
Yeah.
So for me, I think it is not so much you reporting that there is a galamsey activity here. No. But if you are able to also report that, listen, there is a smuggling syndicate going on. If you are traveling at the airport, you see somebody carrying backpacks of gold, trying to sneak it out. If you report and they arrest that person, that is where you get your cut. So it's not so much going to the forest to say, oh, I'm reporting
who uses backpack.
That is what it...
Backpack cannot enter plane because you see, even if you have anything, you have
know what you're talking about. I see them in Kumasi carrying backpacks of gold.
And they're not able to, they go through the processes.
You see, some of them are even arrested here in at the...
Kotoka.
Yes, at the local terminal.
Okay, domestic.
And what happens is that...
You see, with backpacks, I had the license to sell at that time.
Please.
It is now that the gold board
the point I'm telling you is that
law
do
is
it
now enforced.
Again, they are still doing it. What about those who go with the bracelets? Those who go with the huge chains around their necks? What happens to them?
So right now we're going to be checking all of them.
Oh yes, they should check.
They should check what they are going to.
With the gold board, you can't take, just like you can't take cocoa beans out of Ghana. You can't even take a pod of cocoa out of Ghana easily. No, you cannot do that. It's going to happen that with the inauguration and then the tax force now, you can't take, if it's pure gold, you can't say, I have pure gold.
That's my bracelet.
Pure gold. No. If you bought it from a jewel, receipt
for that.
Yes. No, if you can go and buy things from Europe where you are coming, and if you can't produce receipts for some items, you confiscate it. Especially most of their national assets. You can't easily take it out. Even your own money that you made in the country, there are some amount of money. Limits. You can't even take it out of the country. Why are they doing that? So it is just a way to control our own minerals, our own resources in the country. That listen, before you take it out, let all proper taxes be paid. So for me, it is not you going to tell people about, oh, there is a galamsey in my backyard. Yes, that one, the anti-galamsey task force will come and deal with it. Do you understand? But then the real whistleblowing is how the smuggling syndicate. That is where the problem is.
But that's not what the president said. Read what Sheila sent you. That's not what the president said. The president said they are doing it. No, not additional, because what the president said is that they are going to help in combating galamsey in the communities. So if you do that, you'll be able to use not a cartel.
I've just explained to you that the process of galamsey is an investment from a big foreign financier that makes the thing survive. And the financier's main motivation in the investment is that he sits in the bush there or comes there when there is washing, or after washing, he takes the gold and goes away. That is why he invested. So if the person coming, taking the gold and moving the gold, you are able to draw attention that, listen, gold is being moved. And they arrest the person, and truly, he's not a small-scale miner, he's not a licensed miner.
He's just a financier that has come to pick his gold away.
That is it. So it is not, you see, combating illegal money is not just about excavation. The processes involved.
We are in full support. Okay, so all we look forward is that we can only wish the policy well. But then again, we realize that not too long ago when they took power, they have launched several things as at now. I'm expecting the government should start giving us updates. Yes. They launched the 2 weeks ago, Feed Ghana. Yes. They launched Feed Ghana several years. As I don't know how many acreage they have planted.
National Service alone has done 6,000 acres.
You were doing it before today. National Service has been farming from time immemorial.
No, that's a lie. National Service didn't even have 1,000 acres under OCSB.
They've been farming since time immemorial.
Stop it.
It is not a new thing that National Service is farming.
What did you mean?
There was not even 10 acres of maize when we came.
But there were lands belonging to national service. And there were tractors belonging to national service.
So there's difference. He said,
I am telling you now
about what they
now the president
the lands are still there.
They are just lying because this one, they told us that national service there were cartel.
Is it only national service secretariat that is involved in the Feed Ghana?
Ghana Armed Forces is doing it.
So what about the citizens?
The Feed Ghana was not launched for national service.
No.
It was not launched for institutions. It was launched for Ghanaians.
No.
Go and check. It was launched for Ghanaians.
I was at Ministry of
Agriculture.
When I went there.
Richard,
yes, please.
the processes are two.
We are not here to argue. We are to speak to facts.
Let him explain the processes.
The processes are two. The farming bit is there. The poultry farming bit is there. The household poultry farming bit is what the Ministry of Agriculture is going to roll out. That one is the ministry program.
That is Nkukon Kitten, not Feed Ghana.
But it's also not part of
No, it's not.
It's part.
It was also launched separately. Nkukon Kitten was launched separately.
Of the Feed Ghana project.
It was not really launched for institutions.
Let me do some messages. Let me do some messages from our viewers. This one is from Akisme in the session, and it says that President John Mohammed's decision to reward the whistleblowers is a game changer in the fight against gold smuggling by offering 10% seized gold or a cash reward. He's empowering citizens to become active participants in safeguarding Ghana's resources. Let's rally behind this initiative and support the president's vision for a more transparent and prosperous Ghana. And it goes on another one over here from Naumba and says that, good morning, KMG and your panelists. The Ablekuma North free run is the only solution to the EC can do. The difference between NPP and NDC is very clear, because while NDC national executives are in Ablekuma North campaigning for Rabna, NPP executives are busy doing press conferences. If they are afraid of losing it, then they shouldn't even try to contest in 2028 election, because by then they won't get a point to stand upon. And it says, I beg the good people of Ablekuma North to endorse Rabna to help reset the country. God bless Sameh Jemfi for his exceptional leadership in the gold board. Ghana shall reach its destination in the future. This is Awini Matthew from Garu. And Teacher Constitution says that the gold board seems unnecessary. Instead of forming more boards, shouldn't JDM and NDC focus on keeping their major promises? The constant creation of boards raises questions about their priorities. Is this, it's time for action, not just announcements. Greetings to Koka, JFK, Honorable Mavis. And Pedro Pedroa says that watching the show live and clear inside Indianapolis, Kumasi, Tanoso, Kesbin Junction, next the main location. And Asante Moro says that, so Awal is Awal saying if you organize press conference that makes you win an election. If that is the case, then NPP won the presidential elections. This guy part, and only opposition party can make the EC work by opposing their decision. Okay. Nyanko Brownie says that, good morning, KMJ. Speaking on the ECG's suspension, it's good that she is utilizing all the resources available to her, and I believe the ECOWAS court will hear her concerns and make a decision. Her judgment in Ghana is still pending as well. However, the ECOWAS court has a significant number of cases to address. For instance, the issues in Togo alone are substantial and may take years to resolve, likely without any positive outcomes. She has exhausted all her options. I also agree with the president stance on her suspension. Ultimately, her shame will catch up to her soon. Warm regards to Honorable Emmanuel Kwame Frimpong. Musa in Abato says, Sami Jemfi has really opened now. Okay, I think I've read this on the other side. Let me give way to others who have also sent messages over here. And this one says, Alaji Abufi says, my greetings to Awal. NDC disable Ghanaians to win, deceive Ghanaians to win election. They cannot do anything. Okay, let me go to this one, which is my final one from Master Planner Junior in Kintampo, and it says, great submission by my brother. Wow, please, we need him in the next NPP national executives, either by appointment or election. Yeah. By the NDC that.
He doesn't have money. He doesn't have money.
If you don't have money, they don't vote for you. General Secretary.
Ablekuma North. So therefore, the parliamentary too is a non-starter. In Techima North, President Mahama won, but Honorable James Kosa won the parliamentary on the ticket of NPP. They should stop the content creating. Ablekuma North is blue, but no need for a rerun. The EC should stop the panic and fear of being sacked by the NDC. If the EC is claiming they don't have the pink sheets, how did they later on realize that those 19 polling stations were not verified by their officers? It looks like the EC is confused. Anyway, those are your messages this morning on Facebook. We appreciate them. We say a big thank you to Franco Trading Enterprise, though, for Papa Pafi, for bringing us news flash this morning here on the show. That's all time we permit us this morning. What to respond to the
Feed Ghana,
National Executive?
Feed Ghana, 133 jobs. What's happening with the Women's Development Bank?
Stop confusing.
What is happening to the Soyaya fund that you promised the people of Zango?
So you're mentioning the promises that they made.
Promises and lunch, because these are things that they launched. Some are even in the budget.
I'm confused that
some are even in the budget, like the Women's Development Bank.
It's not part of Feed Ghana.
When they were launching it, they launched it alone.
How can
as
you
a stand-alone thing.
Who did that?
So what is happening with the
Ghana was part of the
So what is happening with the
It's part of Feed Ghana.
What is happening? What is happening?
It's part of Feed Ghana.
That is what we are doing. What are you doing? Who is benefiting? Where can we go and register?
My only concern is that
I've just told you the Ministry of Agric is rolling out the project. Why do you make me look at this?
Where can we register?
AMJ, please do this advocacy for me. You see, NCCE is supposed to be a body that educates Ghanaians on all policies and programs.
We've always been hitting on them.
But at the end of the day, they launch a program and you hardly hear about where and how you can participate
Let's be
in
very
it.
sincere.
So
when they launched the Ejumawura, it was under the NAPE. Do you understand? So all that NAPE was doing was that they roll out the portals that if you want to register, this is how you go. So there's an agency you go to. I'm coming. The Ministry of Agric launched the Feed Ghana project. That was where the president said he's targeting to do 4 million broilers a year in Ghana.
But Honorable, you are telling us now, how many people know this?
I'm coming. Then it was that same forum, the Ministry of Agric, the Minister of Agric explained that, listen, we are dealing with institutions now. Very soon we will roll out the household in Kukon Kitinkiti project as well.
That was at the launch. But after that, we
What has happened? That's
not the plan. So I'm saying that if the household is not...
NDC executives will be this is what the president said.
That one is coming.